Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the blockchain.
Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I gotta shout out
Started
the
off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Cap, Joe, my co-host, Outer Luma today. Appreciate y'all being here. Einstein, I saw you out there warming things up with those emojis. The rest of you know what to do. And the only ask this morning is head over to YouTube and give us a sub over there if you haven't yet done so. Greatly appreciate it. And actually, you know what? I'm going to have another ask. I was going to stop asking for help on warming up X, but something's broken today. I mean, another day on X, another day, something's broken. But the search is, I had a couple people say search is down. So we might need some quote tweets, some reposts to help with discoverability. Mel wasn't able to find Steve earlier, was attempting to tag him, couldn't find him at all in the search. And then I saw Katie, I think it was Katie as well, said that X search is broken. There you go. I was trying to post the YouTube link in the chat, and that wasn't even working. Outer, we lost you from the stage.
Yeah, it won't let me.
It's just co-host. It's saying no to co-host today, huh? The new hack. I jinxed it saying that your hack solved it, but that is also not working. So we'll power through. I don't know what's I think there was another X update, but very well could have been.
Morning, and I didn't see one, but I'll check again.
I'll go check right now too. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm on an old version of X. Let's see here. One of these days, we will have a flawless open. It might take us 2,000 shows to get there, but one of these days, we will get this thing down pat. Oh, it's on me. So, oof. Let me think through this. So my X is not updated. So that's probably the problem this morning. And
who knows?
Yeah, X is a dumpster fire. Let me do this. I'm going to fire up from the bat phone the space for redundancy. So then I can shut down X for my main phone, and hopefully this works here. I'm going to bear with me. Like, I've got less than 60 seconds to pull this whole thing off. Actually, if the other one will connect, I should be good. But just to prevent other issues, I'm going to try to get my X updated in real time here on the show. And just bear with me. Give me like, you know what? I'll play the.
No, I can banter. I have something I could say, which is fun.
Okay. Sweet.
So
the mic is yours. And I'll be back as quickly as possible.
This reminds me of the time when, I guess it would be Twitter at the time, released their emojis that we could react with in spaces. And I remember, and I bet most people here have probably forgotten, and I have too until this moment, that I had a burner phone that I didn't update Twitter on specifically so I could keep the old emoji pack. And it was like, do you remember for like this one hot minute, it was the coolest thing to have the old emojis because you like were on a phone that you didn't update. Yeah, I so vividly remember having like, I don't remember what the extra emoji was that everybody liked. I think like, was it, I'm just looking at them now. Was there like a, was
I think they took away the 100. I think they took away the 100.
Maybe, maybe that was it. Like there was a bunch of stuff that went missing and people were really salty about it, myself included, because it, you know, there were some really good ones. But funny how now I don't even remember what they were. And this leads me to another point that I think is interesting. In the like UI UX world, there's a study that was done, and I'd have to figure out exactly what the paper is if you guys are interested. But they found, they did the study on a bunch of nurses, and they found that the nurses were getting a new system that they were going to like log patients in. It was like this new UI, and they tested their attitudes to like the new change. I saw the invite for a second, but now it disappeared. You might have to click it again.
Yeah, I should be back. My X now is updated on the main phone. I successfully navigated. This might be like one of my, I don't know how to put this on a resume, Otter. This might be one of my specialized skills that I possess, is the ability to work around X.
Okay.
It requires 2 phones and multiple, just a lack of pretty much useless knowledge, except for this hyper niche thing here as far as hosting spaces on X and how to navigate.
I'm up as a speaker. I'm not sure if I can get on as a co-host. I'm waiting for it to hover down below instead of like above as the orange button. But it's not doing that anymore. Oh, okay, here we go. No, I think I'm back to listener.
And your X is updated.
It is, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was feeling really good. I thought we solved X via our work there, but no,
impossible to solve. It's all right. I don't know. Try sending it to me again now. Like maybe it'll just work. I at this point, like I give up.
I cancel co-host.
Wait. Now I'm back as a speaker.
Try it again.
Oh, this is kind of funny.
It is. This was just our stall mechanism because Von Front did.
Now I'm going back to listener. That's hilarious. Okay, well, you know what? I don't even care. I'm done with this. But I do want to finish the thing about the study because this is so interesting. I love how it says co-host invite cancel too. It's like, yep, that's what it takes. So now I'm as a speaker. Just leave me. Just leave me alone on the stage. My lonely little wizard. I'm no longer going to accept the co-host invite because I just get booted off. Okay. So here's the thing that I think is interesting. These nurses, their attitudes towards this change in this new UI were tested. So they were filling out the survey. And most of them on the survey were like, we do not want this. We don't like the current system, but we don't want the change. Like there was this huge aversion to change. Okay. The takeaway from the study, though, isn't that they like hated the change once it was implemented, because they followed them. I believe it was a month, 3 months, 6 months, however many months post, like the implementation of this new entire UI. And just like me not remembering which emojis it was that I was missing, even though I remember feeling some sort of way about it, the nurses, I think it was at the 3 month or maybe the 6 month mark, couldn't remember what the old UI was like, because that's how fast they adapted to the new one. They couldn't like recall buttons that they used for like years. Yeah, so that this like neuroplasticity of us adjusting to whatever the new thing is pretty quick. Nor do we have like strong retention once something else replaces it. Anyways, I thought that was like, it's really interesting when you think about designing certain things, how people use, and how fast we are to like plow through and adapt to the new thing, yet how change averse we tend to be about it.
Everything except for the name of this app. Majority of us still call it Twitter from time to time.
Oh yeah, no,
That's about the only thing we haven't forgotten.
That's deep in our inner
right.
psyche, though. I'm not sure that's changing.
I know I just asked you, but you have to remind me, what do the Canadians call the beanie again? The fire beanie you're wearing? What's the proper Canadian name?
It's a toque.
A toque. A toque. I do love the toque. And I would I'm tapped out on merch. I shared I recently moved, and part of the move was clearing out a storage unit. And for a while, I'd been running on like 2, maybe 3 hoodies. And I unboxed my box of hoodies and realized that, I don't know, 2-3 dozen hoodies is maybe a tad too many. And that doesn't even count the ones I still have in storage, like the one you're wearing. I'm pretty sure I have this.
Oh yeah,
this
yeah. I guess we should. Yeah. So this wasn't like we did not plan this, but this is funny.
Yes. Shout out to hundreds and I think, speaking of things we've probably forgotten, was this not the very first, not only first collaboration, first collab merch drop from Apes from Yuga? Was it also the first gated merch drop?
That's a good point. I don't remember.
Actually,
first-
I think the first one with the OG
one-
black hoodie and the red and black cloth, I think that was gated, if I remember
I think
correct.
so too. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think this was the first gated one, but it was the first collab.
And the funny thing is, I prefer the blue one. This was a daily driver for me for a while, but I think this was actually open to the public. It was the black one that you had to be a holder, right?
This and the hoodie, the matching hoodie, which I also have to this, were the whole.
Oh wait, is that the t-shirt or the hoodie? You have the t-shirt.
This is a t-shirt.
Okay. I was thinking you were in the hoodie at first, but yeah, the black one was the gated one. The blue one was public, and
I know they got the blue one.
No,
I don't even remember being an option, or maybe I was just so focused on the gated stuff. I'm trying to remember why, but I don't have a blue one, but I do like them both. I think they're awesome.
It was a period of time where I was buying 2 of every every drop, just because I'm gonna keep one in a box and collect it. And I don't know. The only thing that what's that?
Divide said something to me yesterday. I thought this was like such a peak thing to say to me, and I love it. We're in the process of moving and doing a bit of renos, and one of the things I have to decide is if I'm going to take one of the bedrooms and convert it into a walk-in closet. Ooh. And I'm not like a girly girl that needs like a walk-in closet. However, I do love merch. And I also love clothes. I collect clothes. I have like vintage clothes. I like things that I could like, because I collect everything. Like that's, yeah. It's not that it's fashion. It's that I collect things and I could collect fashion. Anyways, but he said to me that, if you have like a collection of old, like those vintage plates, you have a way to display them. If you have like a music studio, you have things to display in your music studio. Like whatever it is, like a jewelry case, if you're a jeweler or jewelry collector, like collectors like to display their collections. And so a walk-in closet where I could like organize and put all of my NFT merch and my other stuff, like it's just a way to show off my collection. And so he's like, don't feel bad about taking up like a bedroom to show off a collection, because like this isn't like, oh, I need like a closet to get dressed. It's more like, no, you want the closet to organize all the things that you have in like 10 bins around the house. And I'm like, that is so true, because like I would like to organize these things. It would be nice to see like all the different things over the years that I've amassed and more. Like I still love like merch. I if it's new and interesting and cool, I like it. Like I got the recent Moonbirds hoodie for Christmas. Divide got it for me, and I wasn't sure. I was like, oh, do I want it? Do I not want it? And he ended up getting it for me because he knew better. And I love it. Like it's a really good hoodie. So I don't know. It's fun when there's new merch coming out. Like I'm totally on board. And apparently I need to have a walk-in closet to put all my merch in.
Find yourself a partner who supports you creating a guest bedroom into a walk-in closet to display your collectible merch. This is the secret to happiness in life, I feel.
And it's kind of his too, because I'm like, listen, it doesn't have to just be mine. Like, you have a ton of merch too, and like he had who did that 9 DCC? Was that
G Money.
G Money? Yeah, because he bought a bunch of those little passes, and he pulled a pretty rare hoodie that he got. It's like
Does he have the? I have the one that's like it's basically like a weighted blanket. It's like a weighted
Yes.
hoodie. It's the heaviest
Yes.
article of clothing I've ever owned, and it's not even remotely close. Like this thing, actually, I need to put it on a scale. I want to say it probably it truly would suffice as a weighted vest. Like it is
Yes.
insanely heavy. Like I don't even know how they made it that heavy out of. It just feels like regular cloth, but it is. It probably weighs 25 pounds.
Yep, that one. He has that hoodie, and I'm just like, look, that needs to, like, I will never, of all the things I'll pilfer from you, even though he's like way bigger than me, I still borrow some things, and like, why not? And most of the stuff I get is oversized anyways. But and we're lucky because our kid hates any of this merch. That's a bonus. He does not like take any of it. But I will not wear that hoodie. Like I will get a workout. Like my Aura Ring will clock a workout if I put that on.
By the way, we didn't. So we had. This was not our cold open topic of the day. We were not going to. Von Frunten is in shock from the last opening scene of Night at Seven Kingdoms. So we're not going to go there today. Maybe we'll talk Night at Seven Kingdoms next week. But I do have to ask. I've got to ask you a question, and then I have to. This guest room is a studio/office. I did not turn it into a walk-in closet. However, the closet that's in this office is my merch closet. So kid you not, I'm going to go grab a couple of pieces of iconic merch. But I have to ask, did you watch the skyscraper, whatever they called Alex Honnold's climb? Did you watch it?
I watched like a 10-minute summary of it.
Okay.
I mentioned at some point, for me, like I'd rather watch him climb rock, obviously, because it's more interesting and different movement. Whereas I knew most of this would be like fairly repetitive movement. In terms of like it's scaling a building, there's only so many different features of the building, but like it's remarkable. It's still amazing, and I love that he's doing it because I think that's the kind of stuff that like brings more attention to him, and then would bring attention to climbing, which I think is great. And then on the like the night of the Seven Realms. Oh man, they keep naming these things. I'm just like, okay, Game of Thrones was easy, GOT. Then they went House of the Dragon. I'm like, why is the in there? Now it's like even longer. I just can't. But the thing that I'm going to say about the show without any spoilers, because this is not a spoiler, is I think Divine and I missed that it was like about 45 minutes for the first one. And I think we assumed that it would be hour-long episodes. And this is not an hour-long episode.
Episode 2 was like a half hour. It was like 33 minutes.
An hour. So we looked at each other and we thought we may have to stop like watching this until it's all out and just watch it like all at once.
It's short. Yeah.
Because it's so short, it just feels like as we were watching the show, the joke was like, oh, I wonder what they'll do next. They only have 10 minutes. Like because we were aware of the time, our experience was altered in how we were consuming the content.
I was wondering how they were going to do it, and I was kind of surprised they made a whole series out of it, because whereas like Game of Thrones is like 6 extremely long books. This was like not even a book. This was like 3 novellas that he wrote, and they combined the 3 into this. And if you go like look for it now, it is all one combined book on like Audible, and probably there's a full book of the novellas, but so it doesn't break them down into 3 separate. But yeah, the book is a pretty short read itself, or in my case, a listen. And yeah, these are. So if you don't like the 90-minute long episodes, if your ADD can't take that, this might be the series for you. Just know that the showrunner goes off script for the opening scene now, 2 for 2. 2 for 2, rather going for the, I don't know, maybe some shock value in the opening scenes. That's all I'm going to say. No spoilers. But before we move on and get into Web3 happenings, maybe I don't wear this often. Do you remember this one?
That one.
It's the Cookie Monster Adidas hoodie.
Yeah.
It is. It's like this is a good. If I'm flying somewhere cold, this is a good plain hoodie, because it is like super soft.
Yes.
And you look like I look like the Cookie Monster wearing it. So can't wear it often.
Such a good one.
But when I do, it's like a perfect piece of NFT merch, because it doesn't scream NFT merch. It looks like a cool Adidas hoodie that's different. But if you know, you know. This one I've wore one time for a picture. I just can't pull it. It's just too loud even for me. Maybe an
I like that
NFT.
one. I wear that one a lot. I definitely
Yeah.
wear that one a lot. Yeah. Yeah. I do
And
like
then
that one.
maybe the most rare piece of actually it's not
Oh,
this one.
yes.
This was the one that was you could get it
That's
fucking
the
Saturday.
Newton. Yeah.
And I have the other one that's like brown that was I got hooked up. I think there was only a few of them made. So I have this in two colors. I've never worn it once. I thought I would, hey, I might wear a robe someday. And
It's got a green belt too. We
Mhm.
we have that, and it was kind of sad. For one, we got the wrong size, even though we asked for a big one for a divide, and so I don't know, like it's like a medium or something, maybe a large. But also the belt on ours completely came apart. So I have it like somewhere, but yeah, it's like it's actually funny because I stand corrected on saying like it's the only piece of merch our kid will wear because like nobody got him a house robe and we're just like, hey, you can just have this one because it fits no one and nobody wants it. So, and he's like, bet I don't mind this because no one will ever see me wearing an NFT piece of merch. It's literally for me to get out of the shower. So that is his extent in dabbling in NFT merch. But yeah, I was not I'm sure it's just like, one of those, you get a lemon car, you get a lemon outfit or whatever, but ours happened to not be of the greatest quality. Have you like so have
got a
you been
lemon burp
opening
box. I
have
opened
you
them all. Yes, I opened them all yesterday. One of my 11 did not have the card to redeem my soulbound token. So
Oh
this
no.
was my lemon burp. I'll read. I'm sure they'll make. Well, I can't. I would imagine they'll make it right. I know busy week for them, but
Wait, would you have it on video that you don't even have the card? I mean, I'm pretty sure that's like,
I mean, if they try to think I'm angling for a free card after, I mean,
yeah.
whatever. You don't
Yeah.
want to give me it, fine.
No.
But
No, I
no,
think you'll
I did
be
not video
fine.
my unboxing. It was not to rehash the whole conversation I just talked about it the other day, but it was like the quality is good, the box is good. It was a little clunky of a claim experience. I know tech can be tough sometimes, but I had like, I'd scan the QR code and it tried to get me to download the Phantom wallet, which is already on the phone. You had to hit back a couple times and finally got
Oh
it to work.
geez.
If anyone's still struggling through that, you gotta. It's kind of like operating X or X spaces. You gotta play with the workaround. But yeah, it was. The smell got to me, and this was just PTSD from unboxing
Really?
bone repair parts. I can tell when something comes, and I'm not saying these even came from Shenzhen, which is more like the electronics market of China. But it was to me, it was very much so like China plastic fumes, and it like gave me my eyes
Right.
started bleeding and gave me a headache, and so but the quality is
Man.
actually it is pretty solid, and I appreciate the effort. I am really curious. Yes, the smell was very heavy. It was and I don't have like a strong sense of scent. Not even might have been COVID related. I really don't know. I've never really had a great sniffer, but this was unboxing them. It was like and when I start getting something like that, like if I use a cleaner and I feel like I start some like, oh,
Yeah.
did I just take years off my life from not like wearing a mask while I was using this cleaner?
Yeah.
It's like my brain, it triggers some sort of like PTSD that's like, oh, this is probably not good. I probably shouldn't be breathing this in a closed room. Please don't take this out of context. I'm not fighting burbs. It was really strong. For me, it was something like, oh, this is taking me back to again, unboxing way too many.
It's like getting a new mattress and unwrapping it and having to let it off gas if you have like, one that isn't all organic or whatever, like if it's not a
It's like the
frou-frou
opposite of the new
mattress.
car smell.
Totally. Yeah. It was just so funny. I love the new car smell. I love the new board game smell.
Ooh,
When you open up a really I got a new board game recently that I had to wait to come back in stock called SETI. And it's like a very elaborate, like, you need a PhD to play the game, but I like those games when but it has a new, because you pop out pieces and it's got like, it just has this like new board game smell. I do at some point want to talk about, speaking of Moonbird tech, about the unnesting of my Moonbird journey, because that is something that is just so funny. But let me know
Let's
when.
do it in
I don't
30
want.
seconds. I want to ask you one question that when you're talking board games. why haven't we seen more board games on chain? It makes so much like turn-based games. Like I remember doing some of this stuff back in like the email era before we even had browsers and the internet. And we were playing turn-based games by basically emailing. You had a group and your turn was like once every 24 hours, and it was truly all done by, I'm really dating myself here. The kids have no idea about Juno email back in the dial-up internet days. But that was my internet experience. My first internet experience wasn't an iPad. It wasn't YouTube. It wasn't TikTok. It was Juno email via dial-up and playing like board games via reply alls. Like hyper nerdism as a young kid. But anyways, why haven't we seen more board game S type on-chain games? I'm sure some exist, but
Why aren't they like super popular and everybody knows
Yeah.
about them? Probably because board gaming is niche. Like how many people actually play board games? Like enough that they want to learn how to play to begin with and then dedicate time to keep coming back. Also, I don't know. I just feel like as a gamer, there's a big difference for me between sitting and playing like a video game versus me hanging out with my friends and playing like Cards Against Humanity or some like really, or like even Settlers when that was a big thing, Settlers of Catan, or like any of them like Root or Scythe or any of these other like super nerdy games. Literally, if you're listening, you either know what I'm talking about or you have no idea, nor do you care, because you're not going to spend like a day learning how to play something. Like so there's a physicality to it that I think
Yeah.
like that I enjoy. And that's not to say that I don't enjoy playing. I think it's hard to get people excited beyond like a very, very simplistic game. And even then, I don't know like what kind of agency people are looking for in digital gaming versus like, that's funny, in digital gaming versus what they want to do online. So yeah, I don't know. But
we're laughing because
also,
Zane
like-
commented, sometimes I feel old. Then I remember, at least I'm not at, quote, email turn-based games, unquote.
it's pretty funny.
Sorry.
No. So yeah. So I think like I know I'm not directly answering your question, but I feel like it's just too niche.
But
like,
there is, there's like competitive board games. There's like board game tournaments. Like I guess to some degree, you could say like the TCG, like Vibes is very much a board game that's on chain, right?
Yeah.
Or it's
Like,
even on.
I mean, and also like I'm a big Magic the Gathering player, like huge, collect all the cards, like love that. I will never play it digitally. Like I don't care. I don't want to. I like the physical cards. Like there's a cute,
wonder why-
however,
why-
but
Right
I
on.
will grind Silk Song for 10 hours straight and not move off the couch. Like this is not like I'm not digital, because and that's the part I don't quite even get about myself necessarily. Like there's a clear difference between like sitting around the table with snacks and friends and doing the board game thing IRL versus sitting around on the couch and grinding like a video game or by myself.
It's gotta be that. It's gotta be part of the experience. The actual in real life human interaction is, I think, part of the magic. Because to me, like you said, you'd never play Magic online, or people like don't play Pokemon. Like I think of like all these TCG games that have physical cards, and these physical cards accrue value, and people don't necessarily want to use and beat up their cards. Like, just makes sense to me. Like it would be a better risk, mitigate your risk. You don't have to worry about damaging your cards by, get your cards, send them off to a BZ vault, and then play the game with the digital counterpart, and not have to worry about your cards staying in perfect condition.
Didn't World of Women, is it them that had a monopoly? That was a World of Women monopoly? Am I making
Yeah,
this up?
I think it was just I don't think there was any on-chain components. So I think
Okay,
it was
which is like a physical. Okay.
yeah, like you can go into your local supermarket at times of the year and see like,
Oh, okay.
Monopoly of Dunedin, or
Somewhere out of the depth of my brain, I just remembered like World of Women and Monopoly. Like went through my brain folder for like search, put the search on, and it was like half working, like Twitter search, and I got back board game Web3, World of Women, Monopoly. It's funny.
Smart Dumb Man says, if you like Magic the Gathering, you like Parallel. Parallel is one of the, took off. I'm not sure where they're at now, but very much on chain and captured some attention and market share there. I had some Parallel Assets. I never played the game. However, did you get into Parallel at all or no?
No, I know about it, but again, I have like I'm not drawn to playing like card games like that online. Like I want to rip packs, like
What about, you ever
real
heard of
packs.
a new card game called Set? B Epic says, thank you, by the way, for the Retspa tip, B Epic. I'm not sure what Retspa is, but thank you very much. He says, I just bought a new card game called Set, S-E-T. His son and I are enjoying it, a little challenging. Familiar with that one?
No, I'll check that one out.
Says it's a card game where you match cards in a set of three. $10 on Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, I think like as somebody who is like built MTG decks and like has like a thing going on, it'll be hard for me to like, oh, I'm gonna play some other card game versus like that particular card game, which I love so much. I am definitely more into trying new board games though, because I do think I like seeing the mechanics of like how somebody masterminded like potential new gameplay. Although at the root of it, a lot of them are like based on a similar kind of strategy. There's only one board game that I refuse to play, and that's mainly because it takes a day to like set it up, which is Axes and Allies. Our kid is like a huge like war history buff, and
It sounds like Risk, but probably
it
more.
is Risk like on steroids. Like it is
That's right.
crazy. Like every country has like a ton of artillery and all these different pieces and like a whole guide. He knows all of them, but it's like you set up a snapshot in time, and it takes like, I mean, it's not a day, but it's like at least half an hour to an hour to like put everything in place. So it's a game where you have to be willing to like leave it and just play it like over the course of many days as somebody comes up and makes a move or something, and I'm just like, no. So it's kind of funny that it's just not like, it's not something I'm passionate about. But I told him in his school, I'm like, can't you just like find some teacher who likes history, get a desk, start that game, and just leave it for like the duration of the school year and see where it expands to. I feel like that's a better play there. But I'll check out SAT, like, or SET.
SET.
Okay.
SET. Yeah, a lot of Risk fans in the chat. Shout out to Hins W over there. Appreciate the Pingu. Greatly appreciate that. I'm still kind of in shock that we have not seen whoever's licensing the Trump stuff. I'm surprised we haven't seen a Trump branded version of Risk. It seemed, especially after the whole Venezuela thing, I thought we'd be seeing that within days, if not weeks, and still have yet to see a Trump branded Risk game hit the timeline. But I thought that was inevitable. Anyways, on to real Web3 happenings, but people do enjoy the merch talk, the game talk. I still think there is maybe something there on the board game front. I hear you that the physical, the in real life interactions is part of the magic. I also, maybe it's my my nostalgia towards Loot, the Loot game.
Yeah.
Like that got too hyper financialized. It blew up too quick and things faded. But I don't know. I thought that would. I still think there's something there. Maybe it never takes off. Maybe it just never happens on chain. But Loot was, think of like the easiest way to describe it. The TLDR would be like Dungeons and Dragons on chain, and your assets, your stuff. It was all on a card and it was text. It was literally an NFT that had words on it, which were your items in your loot bag, and this text, the lines of text ran up to 20, 25 ETH maybe at the Pico top. It was a free mint. Dom, who's he might have been one of the creators of Vine. I don't know. He was a notable dev, and it was one of his projects, true just a project. And he sent some vague cryptic tweet out. You had to mint on contract. You had to find which tokens had been minted, and it was a fun lunch break one day that ended up leading to a pretty big W. But yeah, I got really excited because shortly after, I promise we'll move on after this. I have to connect the dot real quick though, because I had talked to Outer about one of my best childhood friends who not only did we play sports together and the sports video games, but he's the one who got me into Magic the Gathering. He's the one that got me into Age of the Empire and Lord of the Realm, Dungeons and Dragons. When Apes minted, I have notes that I sent. Basically, I described Loot. I just wasn't a dev, and this was pre-AI. But he's a programmer. Like he's done very well coding software for a living, and is a C level at a big a large, got acquired now publicly traded company. Anyways, I sent him all this, like my idea of basically loot on chain, and I was asking him questions like, okay, what other traits like dexterity and all this stuff like you would know from like Dungeons and Dragons, and he answered back. Anyways, I never did anything with it other than take notes, and then Dom launched loot months later, but I digress. Anyways,
I would look. I think if something comes out and the new meta is like, oh, we're back to gaming on chain and trying that out, great. Like I'm here for it if that happens. But I don't fully know that people have an appetite for this because I don't know if they have an attention span for it and the dedication to like actually come back. You have to be pretty incentivized to want to play. But this is very nostalgic though. I love looking at old projects.
it's still got a 0.099 ETH floor, so you're talking like almost $300. I mean, there was a very diehard community that really leaned into this, and it was one of the first third-party airdrops I got. They created AGLD, which is basically gold for this loot game, and that ended up being a pretty big dub. But yeah, here's an example: Mace, Divine Robe of Titans, Ancient Helm, Linen Sash, Holy Greaves, hard leather gloves, amulet, and a gold ring. And yeah, and then it was like he created the assets. You could go mint them, and then the community created the games around it. And I mean, here's a rare one that sold for 0.2 ETH a couple weeks ago. So yeah, there's still some activity. I mean, this one sold yesterday, selling into ETH bids, but
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if they have like an active Discord and it's still going, or if it's like completely dead. I actually don't know.
for a while it was D Hoff. I said yeah, Dom Hoffman, I believe. For a while, it was in. He did another prior to this bit something bit. I don't know. I'm trying to find it real quick, but my brain's slipping me. He there was a Discord, but it wasn't a loot Discord. It was basically Dom's Discord for his other projects. For many years, I only had like 3 or 4 people on Noties on. Dom was one of them because I happened to catch his tweet about that loot contract over a lunch break, and it was the most profitable lunch break I've ever taken. Last thing before we jump into the Web3 news of the day, a little bit of a look back from, oh, Jesus. Eddie Crypto says, yeah, the Trump risk game is coming. It's supposed to launch in February. Not surprised.
Oh my god.
But in all seriousness, more important stuff, following up on the AI conversation, Jamber says, yesterday's take on AI, I'm in the medical field, and doctors are now using AI for dictation, and it's actually giving them more time to spend with patients. Big win, and I'm here for it. I think this is the stuff, too, like we talk about, oh, like robotics are going to take over surgery and medicine, and someday, yeah, eventually, I still think the human doctor is going to be the one controlling the robots for the most part, but stuff like that, like administrative tasks, like dictating notes, and yeah, dictation's been around for decades, but the quality of dictation today is actually something that it's good enough to use in something like medical notes, whereas a decade ago it really wasn't. It was frustrating to dictate. Now it gets almost every word for word, and just thinking about stuff like that, like that applies to most people. It's something I need to do more with dictation, because it just helps you be more efficient, helps you be more productive, and I think that kind of the highest level kind of sums up this AI revolution. And you don't need to be going and building your own agents per se. You don't need to be vibe coding new apps to launch in the App Store, but even just using it for simple things like making your life more efficient by dictating notes is, I think, an easy win for a lot of people. And
Well, I mean,
appreciation.
I think for patients it's huge. Like I didn't catch yesterday and what the conversation was around, but I think like one of the things that AI is huge for is changing like how much research you could do, like actual real research. Like I know there's the whole idea of like Dr. Google, which just gives you like the worst of the worst of cases. So, not as helpful. And I know if you don't ask the right questions, ChatGPT for sure is going to be like, yeah, it's just going to glaze you into thinking you're fine, even if you're not. But there is, I think, like and I've seen maybe a few apps, I think, already doing this, but like a specialist doctor isn't necessarily going to be caught up on like every single latest piece of research. They're not going to go to every conference. They're not going to be like in tune with everything going on about a condition X or whatever. And if you're a patient with condition X, then you can actually ask ChatGPT to give you the latest articles and summarize them and quote the sources so that it's not just like hallucinations or whatever. And you can become a pretty big expert on your specific case. Like, and then the conversation could be meaningful because it's not just like, oh, I Googled this. And it's not like, oh, AI told me. It's more like, hey, from these 7 studies that were just released in the last month, this is where I see the field and the landscape changing around condition X. Are you aware of that? Like, and as somebody who is like literally experiencing this right now, it's very fascinating because now, like, I find at first when you kind of question things, they almost think that you're like a patient who is like really woo-woo about certain things. And then they realize like actually you're on the opposite side of that, which is like you're almost too educated because they're not caught up yet. But both of them are still a little bit like an interesting thing to navigate with the physician because they're just like, wait, what's happening here? And maybe it's because I do have a background in like science research. And so having these meaningful conversations of being like, okay, but is this, are we talking about like a treatment because it's the current standard? Can we be talking about treatments that are like coming out of trials that are more successful? Like, is there access to those? So yeah, I don't know. That I think AI is like super useful. I am excited for like an official, like branded, super easy to use, you know, like navigator for any kind of like disease for folks. I think right now it's still complex, even like OpenAI Health and all of these things that are coming out. Like you still need to be, I think, handheld in how you navigate that. And the conversation that you have with your doctor once you do that.
Did you play around with Claudebot at all?
No,
Or
like
did you catch the whole mania that lasted for about 48 hours?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that one is like, to me, it reminds me of, remember the movie Her?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like it just seemed like that's what you get on your computer, and like I'm all here for it, but also like I don't think I want to spend the time right now to setting one up. But I can see that.
Yeah, I think within, and I know it's not everything, but within like 24 hours, Claude released another update that did, 80% of what Claudebot was doing just in the native app. Like it just, that's part of my, it's a dilemma I go through often. It's like how deep, we had a conversation last night, great conversation, by the way, but like, this is something I need to spend more time in the AI trenches, learning this stuff, just because it's going to be transferable skills. Where I think I get hung up or struggle or make excuses is like, okay, how much time do I want to spend in learning this new third party thing when Anthropic or OpenAI or Google with Gemini is probably going to launch something that's easier to use that does the same thing within a matter of weeks or months, worst case scenario. And it's just moving so fast. But I reiterating a little bit of yesterday, I think that even if you're not building something to sell or to monetize, I think you're probably doing it wrong if I'm anti-AI. I'm not going to using that stuff. Like you're putting yourself, I think, in a significant competitive disadvantage.
I don't know. Like I feel like those folks, if this all goes in a way that isn't great, for sure those folks are going to be like, ha, told you so. But you know what? Like I'm still going to use AI for the things that make my life better. For instance, for me, it's recipes, like I love the fact that I can be like, here's a picture of the ingredients I'm willing to work with that I happen to have in my fridge right now. And I'm like low-key about to order Uber Eats, but maybe you could save the day. And ChatGPT's like, of course we can make whatever it is. And I'm like, great, give me 2 recipes or 3. I will pick something. I will cook it because I hate cooking. And like, people are like, oh, what superpower would you have if you could have any superpower? Yeah, it's easy. I wouldn't sleep and I wouldn't eat. Done. Like, but, or at least make those optional. Think of how much time I'd have. And I say this as someone who is like a genetic 6-hour short sleeper. There are people that are short sleepers in the world, and I happen to be one of them. And already I'm like complaining about more, or less sleep rather. So I don't know. But I think like to rope this back in, AI has a lot of uses that are like so simple, but if someone was to take that away from me and I couldn't use it like for making recipes anymore, like instantly on the fly based on things I have, that is like the biggest time saver ever. Like it just means that I can ADHD shop, get groceries, and then somehow these things will come together into meals. Like it's perfect.
Yeah, or
So
soon not even have to do that. Your smart fridge is just going to connect to Claude or Gemini, and it's going to just do your whole grocery shopping for you. You're just going to tell it, hey, here, help me come up with some things to eat this week. And then you're like, yeah, I choose these 5. And then everything's just going to appear in your house. And all you're going to have to do is unbox it, put it in your fridge. And then pretty soon you'll have an
oh,
Optimus robot to actually
well,
do
and
the cooking.
yeah, I was gonna say the cooking robots. Like, there's some really cool ones. I've looked at them. There's like a couple I saw on TikTok where you just like put a bunch of stuff in, press a button, and it prepares this like crazy meal for you. But yeah, I'm definitely like the whole robot. That is exciting to me. I would love one.
Same. Zane adds, I used to spend 6 to 8 hours a month doing social media reporting for work. Now I spend less than 30 minutes a month. AI does all the boring, time consuming work so I can be creative and strategic. And I think that's exactly it. For the doomers who say AI is going to take your job, I would say yes, if you're not using it, to become more efficient, to turn 8 hours of work into 30 minutes of work, someone that is going to be better than you. It's going to seem like your coworkers they're working 24 hours a day. And the reality is they're working probably less than you. They're just being smarter and more efficient with their time.
Well, and it doesn't take away this like first principles thing, I think. And maybe like as somebody who has a kid who is like anti AI a little bit, only because the school is anti AI, right? Like when you're at the grade 8, 9, whatever level, they don't want you to use AI to like creative writing or whatever. But like this is an interesting application of it. He makes Roblox games, and if you've ever been in Roblox Creative Studio, like it is, you can't like you have to use scripts within it unless you have like some other plugins that you can like tie to trying to vibe code in it. But how I vibe coded it, because the language is Lua. It starts with a 1, like our studio does, or like Fortran. Like it's like it's a weird language. Anyways, but I use it with Cursor. So I will get Cursor to write me a script and I'll paste it into Studio and I will test it. But there are still fundamental things on Roblox that if like as somebody who's more new to experimenting with that kind of vibe coding, my son and I sat down for like half an hour to an hour and he explained to me how Roblox Studio actually works. Like in a very easy, fast, efficient, like from first principles ways, because I can have Cursor give me this awesome script. But if I don't know where to put it, it's not going to help me, right? So either I'm asking AI for how to do it, which is fine. I could learn that way, or I can ask my kid. But the point is that like there is still a first principles thing that you kind of need to learn before then you can, do all of the other things. Like if you don't understand that you need to connect like a database, for your app or whatever you're making, like that fundamental understanding of how something is set up is like the first thing you learn. And I don't think AI like takes away from that. I think if anything, it forces you to learn it, either because you don't know it and then you're asking those like first principle questions and it can guide you through that. That's fine. Like when I first started using it when I first started using Python for like scraping stuff, I had no idea how to like set up like an API with whatever I was scraping. And at the time there was no AI to tell me. So I had to like go into Stack Overflow and like figure it out the old school way. But I still had to learn how like fundamentally scraping something on the internet works, especially if whatever I'm scraping has an API, and how to like talk to it and make calls and set up like a whole system. So, and I think that there's this fear of like how, if your kid has to write an essay and they put the prompt in and then they copy and paste the essay, the thing that they're missing there is like, why don't you just, like as a teacher I would want them to just mark the use of AI at that point. Like instead of saying don't use it, then why don't you say, okay, everybody use it, and then everybody mark your own slop, like make them critically evaluate what's happening so that they can get those skills, which are really the important skills there. Otherwise, tell everybody to handwrite their stuff. It's great for dexterity. Make a whole, for this hour where you're going to write your essay. Like, yeah.
I couldn't agree more. I think those using AI are going to learn a lot more because it's not just it forces you to become better educated on things you're attempting to get done with AI. It like forces you to learn. It forces you to do more research because it's not just, at least today, it's not just simple prompt, get all the answers you want. It is back and forth. It is going down rabbit holes. And I think it'll actually increase the collective intelligence on the human side, not just because they're using AI, but they're going down rabbit holes and learning things that I mean, how many people are now could probably actually code who were not coders, not programmers before, because they've been vibe coding and talking so much with ChatGPT or Claude that now all of a sudden they probably could go code a simple game without the help of AI. That previously they would have had not even know where to begin. Like I think it's very much is a great educator, especially if you're using it for such. And exciting times ahead. What a time to be alive. Einstein, I saw you try to come up earlier. If you want, we'd love to have you join the conversation. You might have to leave X. Make sure you have the most recent version and come back up. It's being a little finicky today, but here's headlines for the day. First up, we're going to jump into is Outer's a nesting story. We have Bird TGE on deck. It launches tomorrow. Those assets are down quite a bit today, but we'll get into that here in a second. Other headlines of the day: Hype comeback. We got a post from Jeff, the founder over there. We'll talk about Hype. While Majors chopped or down slightly, Hype and Pump Fund both up over me that by far and away the big winners of the day. BlackRock, the title here, BlackRock filed for a new Bitcoin premium ETF. You're going to want to stick around to find out what premium means. Rec Drinks, another sellout, this time in less than 60 seconds. We hit on Nifty Gateway closing yesterday. We may have a little follow-up there and might talk about some of the NFT graveyard protocol or the NFT protocol graveyard of 21-22. But Outer, tell us about your Burb unnesting experience or lack thereof.
Yeah, this is really funny. So I think I've talked about this before. I had a moonbird that was nested from day one. I now can say had. It would have been nested for a total of, I think it's like 1,300 however many days, like wild. Like it's been 4 years basically.
You deserve the Tesla that was teased at one point.
Oh my God, right? Like I just wanted the diamond nesting pin, you know? Like I literally, they never made one. But all that to say that I went on an adventure and I thought, okay, I want to unnest my bird, but I want to do it in a way where I could like document it. Because I think like I have a screen capture of me nesting it. And I thought it would be fun to like have a screen capture of me unnesting it, especially because it's like, it's just this meme at this point with some of my friends that like I still have a nested moonbird. Like it was just so ridiculous to do that at this point, right? To the point that you couldn't unnest it on the old like original like proof site, because like that's a legacy site that's now like defunct. So it does not work to do it there. So I popped into the Discord in October and I was like, hey, does anybody like know how to unnest a moonbird? And the response I got was like, open a ticket. Okay, fine. So I opened up a support ticket, and in the support ticket, I was like, hey, how would you unnest a moonbird? And they're like, okay, well, let's check that it's nested first. What number is it? So I gave them the number, and then they're like, oh, well, we can unnest it for you. And I'm like, no, whatever you do, please don't unnest it for me. The whole point is that I would like to unnest this on my own. Like this is important to me. Do you have like I'm like, I don't mind doing this off contract. Can you just tell me like the like what you want me to do so I don't mess that up? So they gave me the information that I needed, like to where I should like toggle nesting and like write that on Etherscan, all the things. I'm like, great. And so, but I'm kind of dumb in that I didn't screen capture the instructions because I was like, whatever, I'll just come back to it. And of course the support ticket's going to get closed. It was just like me boning out. So fast forward to like last week where I'm like, oh yeah, I should really unnest this. Like I should do it. Like I haven't done this yet, but it's important to me. So I open up another ticket, and me and one of the mods, shout out to that mod, we're trying to figure out why I only in like from my user account had toggled nesting like 1,300 however many days ago, but I didn't toggle it again to unnest. So as far as like my whole status of my bird from my account on chain is that the thing is still nested. However, turns out that from their end when they checked, because at one point I'm just like, okay, I give up, just you unnest it, like I don't care anymore. They're like, wait, it's already unnested. And then I'm like, well, how can this be unnested when I never asked for it to be unnested? So we go down and try to figure out like who wrote the toggle unnesting on it, because I didn't. My account didn't do that. So looking more and more into it, we figured out that an admin at some point, I guess when I first asked about it on October 3rd, took my inquisition as the like, yes, unnest the thing. So they actually unnested it. And we had this like hilarious interaction of like a little like they put like the crying emoji of like, no. It was like, you know, definitely a legendary like long-term nesting that somebody on the admin team definitely ended on October 3rd. So that is actually when my moonbird became unnested. But it's like such a funny like anticlimactic, like, here I am, I'm gonna like screen record this like ceremonial unnesting of this thing that I like really should have just accepted a 55 WETH offer on like 4 years ago that I didn't. Anyways, if anybody wants a clean moonbird with a matching oddity and mythic, let me know. At some point I'll probably get rid of them, but maybe not. I don't know. Like, but that
They
was
owe
the
you at least a diamond pin at this point. They need to
oh my god, right? Like,
build at least create at least one just for yourself in that story. And the, you know, maybe the 3 or 4 other people that never unnested their moonbirds. But
so there are people still that are nested, but I don't know if any of them are like still from day one unnesters like that. I think, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I'm the one that like has that like longest whatever running title, but I stand to be corrected. Like maybe someone is. I can go on contract and check, but like at the same time, I don't know how much I care. I am excited about tomorrow though, although I have no idea what the play is. I have not been paying attention at all, even though I have assets. Do you know?
I don't know what the play is, and I'm a little surprised. So after they announced it, there was a big sell-off, and then they said, "Hey, there's not been a snapshot. You're gonna have to have the assets at time of claim," and they bounced back up a little bit. But I just saw again down, kind of the biggest losers on the day as far as NFTs go. Moonbird's down 9% to 1.74. Mythics are down 17% to 0.21. I should have let mine fly yesterday. And then Oddities also down 11%. Both of those are 0.21 ETH. The Burbs are 1.74. Not good to see that kind of sell off pre-TGE, because there's almost, I mean, it's possible. There's a range of outcomes, but almost no scenario where the NFTs don't take a big hit once the claim occurs. I mean, this isn't a comment on Moonbirds. This is just fungible tokens tied to NFTs. They run up in anticipation of the TGE, and then there's almost always a sell-off and a dip in floor price of the underlying NFT asset. I don't know how to play this. I don't have much. Like, I've got the soulbound tokens I've claimed. I've got one mythic, and I will probably just, because it's not that much. I think what I may do, I may hedge, and I'm not someone who hedges, but I might hold the tokens I claim and simultaneously open a short after I anticipate somewhat of an initial pump, and then I think we'll see trend down. I'm actually, more so than the price action, I'm genuinely curious what they're going to do. Because so far, it's been, for as anticipated as this launch has been, for the amount of time they've built up for this TGE, I can't remember another token, at least tied to an NFT brand. We had basically no information leading into it. Now, they did say yesterday, they said that tokenomics will come out today. But so far, we've got no tokenomics, don't have any, we know nothing about the token. Is there going to be any utility? Is there going to be any perks? Is there going to be any syncs? We know nothing. And I don't know, something I read gave me the feeling that I wonder if it's not going to be a full claim, but rather it's going to be a slow drip. And I wonder if that rumor is spreading, and that's why there's the sell-off in the NFTs, because that's the case. That's not historically not been well received in terms of the market in the NFT asset. Like Memeland did this with their captains, and you only got X amount of tokens you could claim every day or week. I don't know what the timeline was, but I really don't know what the play is. I am probably going to open a short. I do think I saw, let me pull up Kalshi here, because I think I saw a Kalshi pre-market on the Burb token, unless it was just a screenshot. Nope, yep. Moonbirds, FDV 1 day after launch. Currently, the forecast is at, here we go, Burb. Currently, the forecast is at 328 million. You can buy yes 93% chance it's over 75 million, 94% chance it's over 100 million, 49% chance. So 50-50, it's at 150 million plus. 23% chance it's at 250 million. This math ain't mathin'. What am I missing here? Just low volume? Explain that to me. But yet a 72% chance it opens at 300 million plus. That there's free money here somewhere in Cauchy. I don't know how to make money on this. I don't know what bet to take, but if it's this is, I don't know, is this a broken market? Like, these are also 99 cents. So something is, this is a real, I mean, it's a real market on Cauchy. Oh, there's only $1,300 of volume. That's why. So it's a real market on Cauchy, but essentially no volume at this point. So some of these must just have almost no volume. But that said, it still feels like, can I bet no? I don't know. So there feels like there's probably some sort of arbitrage here, because this doesn't make any sense at all logically, other than just not enough volume to register correctly. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I think probably south of 328 million. There might be a pump at TGE Day, and then I'm confident in this. If there's no other announcements, if there's no incentive to hold, if it's just we're going to meme this thing to billions, I don't think that's going to work. No. If it's just a meme or this is our brand coin, I don't see the token holding any real material market cap, but I could be wrong. I'm rooting for them. I hope they do well. I thought we'd have a lot more information on what they're going to do with Burb than we have it yet at this point.
I mean, they might delay it, or hopefully whatever the information is just like provides clarity on whether it makes sense to hold or not to hold.
Yeah. I did see Tully, one of the founders of Solana, swapped his PFP to a Burb. And there's Tully. Spencer did say coming tomorrow. Don't trade on FOMO or hype. Owning a Burb has always represented wanting to be on this journey with us. The 28th isn't the end of the journey. It's just a milestone. Okay. Who's ready to hold their Burb? I wasn't being smart. I asked a genuine question.
Apparently, I'm ready to hold my Burb because like I've already held it for how long, right? Whatever. The only reason why I thought about, actually, this could be a good segue. The only reason why I decided to unnest the Burb is because I was thinking of acquiring something from Nifty Gateway.
Segue like a pro.
And this is so like, why does this stuff always happen to me? Like, I really should just document my like everyday Web3 like mundane experiences, because they seem to like somehow synchronous, like this is synchronicity there. So I'm looking at an asset that is on Nifty Gateway that I like. The person obviously has it on Nifty Gateway. They do not have a handle that I could look up, so I don't know who they are, like on Twitter or anything. And I want to offer them something for this asset, because out of the collection of said assets, I'm really interested in one particular one. And I have the link to that asset, and I was thinking about messaging a few like fellow art colleagues in the space to see maybe they know who that collector is. They listed it for sale in March, and like nothing else. That's it. And so I thought, well, if I'm going to make an offer and they're not even checking, this is going to suck. So maybe somebody knows who they are, because I wanted, like, the price they listed for was a little bit above like what the current kind of price is for that. So I was like, well, maybe they'll take an ETH or two lower or something. And the next effing day, that link doesn't work anymore, and there's that announcement of like everybody off. And I like didn't even screenshot like the holder's name or anything. Like I know what I'm looking for, but I can find it on OpenSea. In fact, I should check to see if maybe like now I'm checking every day if it's off of the Nifty Gateway contract or if it's still there. But it's going to be the saddest thing for me if this asset like literally just perishes because this person's not active anymore. Like I'm going to be really sad about that.
And I'm right in thinking if it's in that Nifty Gateway contract, you you can't transact anywhere else, right? You can't go buy it on OpenSea. Is that accurate? Like you could only transact in Nifty Gateway until they take it out of Nifty Gateway, and then you could buy it wherever. But if it's all these assets on Nifty Gateway, they're basically locked on Nifty Gateway. You can't just go to OpenSea and buy it there, can you? Or am I mistaken?
No, you have to go on Nifty Gateway until so the good thing is that this person did take this piece off of Nifty Gateway, and they actually now listed it for sale for an insane price. But at least now I know how to find them. This is great. So excited about that. But also imagine if you just completely like, who cares? Then I actually don't know. I don't know. Does anybody have an answer as to what happens to like all of these assets that are like completely unclaimed? Are they just gonna like, be locked in that Nifty Gateway contract? Or are they released like back to the artist? Like that's the conversation that I don't understand. Like I understand why people are salty about having to like have terrible UI and trying to pull a bunch of stuff off, like, or the fact that they have like barely any notice to do it. But for the people that are like kind of on vacation from Web3, expecting their stuff to be there when they return, because like people have definitely left and returned and all of their bags are still there if they have self-custody over their bag. But like what's happening to this? Like I
said yesterday, don't delay. The deadline is less than a month away. You have assets on there, go pull them off. That said, I will be shocked if February 23rd hits and it's just all those millions of dollars of NFTs are just locked in the Nifty Gateway contract forever. Because it's not just some like fly-by-night startup. This was, for those of you who weren't around, Nifty Gateway was I mean, it was ahead of OpenSea at one point. It was the launch platform. It was where Beeple was doing his raffles. It was, there's Beeple's there, there's XCopy's there, there's Sam Spratt there. There's a lot of OG art on Nifty Gateway, and it was the CoinDesk article I pulled up here. They did over 300 million in sales at its peak. Not only did they do hundreds of millions of dollars in volume, it's owned by Gemini. Like they have funds to keep the lights on for a little bit longer. I mean, I can't imagine that the hosting costs are too exorbitant. I just would be shocked if the state hits and people don't get them out. I don't know. The negative PR that not only Nifty Gateway, but I think by proxy that Gemini would get from this, I don't think it'd be worth just shutting it down hard like that. So we'll see. But yeah, the actual takeaways, if you have assets there, get them off. Don't wait. Don't wait till February 22nd like I probably will. And I mean, we talk about the scarcity of digital art and, oh, it's on chain, so it'll live forever. Not really. People lose their seed phrases. People pass away and don't have any proper estate planning. Platforms like this that are, centralized smart contracts shut down or they don't pay their hosting bill and things are just gone. And this is not, like I said, this is not just, oh, there's a few random PFP collections that no one cares about. This is some iconic art that is, I think last I saw was over $4 million worth of like real NFTs, and would be a shame if these things get lost to a platform just decommissioning. I'll be shocked. I don't think they'll just completely pull the plug. They're going to have to be at least maybe you got to open a ticket and there's a manual workaround. But how many of these people just aren't active? They don't look. You get how many emails you get a day. Oh, I didn't see that email. Oh, they're not going to Nifty Gateway on a daily basis.
Or they just might be taking a break. Like people leave during the bear, but they expect their stuff to still be around, right? Like that's kind of the ethos of crypto, is that you can leave it alone, and if you remember, your custodial way through it, you have it. I mean, speaking of that though, also another PSA would be if you are or were into Reddit avatar collecting, all of the Reddit stuff, you definitely want to go. I think they have until February 6th, if I remember correctly, to set up a password and get self-custody over your avatar stuff if you happen to be there.
I didn't get anything rare or anything, but I did get a few of those. This is hilarious. When I typed in Reddit, any guess what auto-populated is like my most common Reddit page I've went to? How you type in Google and I just typed Reddit, but it auto-populated the whole thing.
Wall Street Bets.
It's better. Better than that.
Is it like a subreddit?
Yeah. I'll say this. This will give it away probably. You know me and the one thing. It is it auto-populated. It took me to the copy pasta subreddit. This is what I go to Reddit most often for. So I can copy pasta in case of an investigation by a federal entity or similar. I do
Oh
not have
my
any involvement with
god,
this group and
that is
people that I do not
so
know
funny.
how I'm here. Probably out of my third party. I do not support any actions by the members of this group. That's what I most often use Reddit for is copying this copy pasta.
That's hilarious. That's so funny.
Imlo, welcome to the stage. Before we move on too far from Nifty Gateway, our local longtime fan of the show actually reminds me we do owe you a follow up to talk about our Artist of the Month project we want to launch. Outer, I don't know if we even talked about this, but one of the things we want to do on a monthly basis is support do an artist day and support some art, and starting with some up and comers and eventually move into some maybe the more acclaimed artists or notable. Imlo's spearheading those efforts, and what brought you up? You got thoughts on Nifty Gateway, or otherwise, feel free to take it whatever direction you'd like. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, so I actually broke this news like 4 hours before Nifty Gateway even posted about it, because I was on Nifty Gateway looking at a piece of art that I wanted to get, and then like while I was on the site, it switched over to say like Nifty Gateway is closing down in a month from now, and I was like, holy shit. And then the other thing is that a lot of the stuff is actually stored in their centralized database. So you have a lot of art that is like ironically, Pax Merge is like one of the only collections that's actually on chain with all the metadata and all the everything like actually on chain. Everything else is a mixture of IPFS, but also there are like broken links that are like going through Nifty Gateway's actual server. So they need to figure that out. They didn't really have such a great sunset plan. So I don't know what they're actually going to do. Like Sam Spratt seems to have a plan for his stuff, but like there are a lot of Rafiqs, Peoples, etc., that are on there that are worth multi-millions of dollars. That even if people get the assets off of Nifty Gateway, which is already a hurdle in and of itself, there's also the hurdle of Nifty Gateway not necessarily keeping up the hosting fees for those, and those potentially having broken links and needing to be reissued or something else. So it's a whole mess, and like Nifty did not prepare anyone for this.
That's why. Yeah, this is so far what we've seen. I think a pretty poor sunsetting. I get it. Hey, businesses, they need to make money. I don't expect all businesses to last forever.
They made $1 billion off of this. They made a lot of money off of this. Like,
and that's my point why the sunsetting's so poor, right? They have capital, they made money, things change, they pivot, Gemini's focused on their everything app. Whatever, you got to make business decisions. This is just a really poor sunsetting. What we've seen so far, I didn't even think about the centralized art in IPFS issues. Like this brings me back to like I know there's some talk about move these to ordinals so they're on chain. Like I didn't even think about not only getting your assets off, some of these assets when Nifty shuts down, if they don't do it properly, you may get like a 404 error when you go to look at your metadata of your NFT. Like that is in the range of outcome.
Someone's got to pay the bill for that, right? And if Nifty Gateway's not going to do it, then
pretty wild.
But the crazy thing though is that there are people that would be willing to pay the bill for it. Nifty hasn't even set up a protocol for it to be like offloaded to other people, including the artists. Like I'm sure each of these artists that have made a lot of money off of these collections would be willing to host them themselves on their own websites or even put them on chain somewhere. That's not the problem. The problem is that Nifty hasn't even given those ownership rights on the contract level over to the artist or over to another entity to continue hosting them or to continue some sort of like protocol for actually making sure that there's longevity of these assets.
Crazy. I don't know. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's a bit complex too, in that like there's like a consensus I think that could be missing in terms of the people that own the art, air quotes for those who can't see me, on like a centralized database that says like, okay, Lumen owns this piece, and then if I'm not around at all, and that goes back to artist A, then it's on artist A to somehow give me custody of that work because I was the owner before this shutdown happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens to, because I don't know if every single artist is active too, right? I think there's like this.
What I think is really weird though is that Gemini still has NFT custody services. What they could have done is say, okay, Nifty Gateway shutting down. We have NFT custody services. We're just going to move everyone who had an account on Nifty over to Gemini custody service, and then they can take their time to do it. The fact that
Yes.
they're like, okay, you only have a month to do it, and like people can't even get into their stuff into their accounts now, like because there's problems with also like withdrawing NFTs. It charges you a fee per NFT withdrawn, and if you don't have ETH in your wallet on Nifty, then they like force you to dox and basically like do a whole lot of like different forms and whatever, and also pay via credit card. They don't even have the ETH option anymore.
And I've seen that
wild.
it's impacting folks that are not in the US because is that correct? Did I read that right? I don't know if you know Mlo, where like someone
Yeah.
I think posted like, I'm in Europe. Why am I doxing myself for some kind of US law? Like this makes no sense.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw ODG Farmer was complaining about that as well. It's like this form doesn't even apply to me. Like I'm not a U.S. resident. This doesn't. Yeah, it just maybe I'm gonna hold out hope. The optimist in me will come out and say they've created this sense of urgency. They want everyone to get their assets off there by February 23rd, and then instead of just hard shutting the thing down, the step they'll take then is migrate the stuff to Gemini's hosting. Maybe I would not count on that. If you have assets there, get them off. But hopefully that's the route they go. Is instead of just, hey, these are going forever, we're gonna move them over here, and you need to reach out if you want them off. I don't know. FIFO is the founder of Wizards of Ord. Outer, I'm not sure if you're familiar.
It's not feasible to put this all on Bitcoin, unfortunately. Like you can't put videos and whatever on Bitcoin, even if the SAT fees are really, really low right now. It still doesn't make sense.
Well, it's
For
still going to be
some of them,
pointed
right?
to somewhere, like get based on Bitcoin's restriction. It would still have to be pointed to somewhere. Like it's not all possible.
So this is a like. What are your thoughts? Being deeper in the art scene and the ordinal scene. I mean, is this just a valiant effort? Is this a nothing burger? Like, I mean, applaud the effort, but it's not really the solution. Might it be a solution for some? I guess.
But maybe for some.
Nifty rescue. Yeah.
Like on-chain art does fix this, but on-chain art isn't the solution for all of this art.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. And there was some other, I'll just say drama that hit the timeline yesterday. I think we're gonna skip over that today. But
One other thing while I'm still up here is I just got back from San Francisco. I went to the Punks opening at the Node Foundation.
How was it? We actually had some people asking if we could get someone that was at the Node Foundation opening, and didn't know it is you're out there. Tell us about it. Take the mic. The floor is yours.
So it was really like it was really awesome how people came from all over the world, and like people that you wouldn't normally associate with like doxing themselves, who wouldn't dox themselves, were there under their punks, and it was cool to actually meet like fellow punks. And like the way that they set up the foundation is that like everyone still has ownership of their own punks, but they own the punk IP now, so they're able to host events like this. And there were like over 400, 500 people that showed up. Beeple was doing his prints from his diffuse control, and you had like performances on 2 or 3 nights. So I mean, it was nice also to meet Mickey Malka. And like I don't know, I think like as a it was interesting to have the Nifty Gateway happen like Friday, and then Friday night have like the opening of the Punks event. So like they really didn't miss a beat in terms of like moving on from the Nifty Gateway drama. And like that wasn't really the focus of the weekend. The focus of the weekend was Punks, and it was cool to see like even Good Vibes Club went and bought a punk off the floor. They got a really nice punk through their vibe strategy. So it was cool to see like that community also getting involved, and Meet that's also had some events there. So yeah, it was a nice event overall.
Love it. I saw this is from Nate Alex. I have pulled up here on the screen. It says sooner or later, he took a picture from the event. It says sooner or later, people will realize that the programmability of NFTs is by far the most interesting feature. As you walk into Node, there are 3 large screens which show the CryptoPunk smart contract, the execution of a simple idea that allows collecting and trading of unique digital assets with no intermediary. This idea has now been copied tens of thousands of times in every type of adjective animal, and collectively we've become brainwashed to think that that is what NFTs are. This would be like the iPhone never moving past the beer pouring app. Ethereum is our app store and nearly endless possibilities. What makes it so powerful? The punk creators knew this. Node Foundation knows this. This is the future of art. And I saw a lot of other, good takes from out there. You mentioned the Good Vibes Club bought this punk while they were there. I think they bought it out of the Punk Strategy Vault, if I'm not mistaken. Them obviously leading into the NFT strategy token, and just a lot of good feedback, fun experiences. You mentioned Mickey. Mickey's the one who purchased the CryptoPunks IP from Yuga back last year, I want to say. And there's an OpenSea post yesterday talking about it's actually an interview with Snowfro talking about what drew him on chain, what CryptoPunks meant to him, and how those ideas inspired the creation of art blocks. I'll pin that up top if anyone wants to catch the Snowfro interview. But one of those things, like, I don't own a punk. A V1 is on my list someday. I actually saw there was a V1 zombie that sold for $50,000-$60,000 yesterday on Gandhi, the buy it now feature. Gandhi is one of the leading NFT FI lending protocols, and V1's getting some love there. But yeah, someday I would like to grab one of those, and not that that'll get me access to. I guess, I mean, reality is, I think that was just open to anyone. You just had to register. I saw there was a big Nakamito's contingency out there as well.
So two interesting things about that. Yes, it was open to anyone. You could register, but I have a V1 punk, and I got access through my V1 punk, and they gave me a card with my V1 punk on it, and I thought that was really interesting also. So I don't know if that's the stance that Node is taking, or if I was a one-time exception, but like, that was the cool thing to experience also.
When you say,
and they literally had a thing where you put this card into a slot, and then it populates the screen with your punk on it.
That's pretty sweet. Yeah, Dort did confirm GVC bought it out of the Punk Strategy Vault, and someone will win that punk via a GVC badge-driven rewards program. Imagine what these NFT PFP collections can do if they are generating royalties. Like, Good Vibes Club has generated nearly $2 million since they went live last March, generating more royalties than Pudgy and Yuga combined over the past 12 months, even though they haven't been around for 12 months yet. They just bought a punk, and now they're going to give that punk away. Alignment, it's a magical thing. Doesn't always mean free magical internet money, but yeah, wow. Imlo, appreciate you sharing. Anything else about Node or Nifty Gateway you wanted to share while I got you on the stage?
Just like showing up for IRL events are worth it, especially since like NFT Paris was just canceled. I thought that this was like an important experience. I think the next one is probably like NFT NYC and also NFC Lisbon. Both of those, like, I think are going to be interesting, because like, there are not that many IRL events that happen anymore. So I think the ones that are happening worth showing up to.
I agree. This is probably the most selective so far. It might change, but right now it's probably the most. I don't have any events planned. Assuming they do 8Fest, I'll do 8Fest this year. I've considered a few others. I thought about NFT Lisbon. I'll do Consensus. It's also in the Miami one, because it's a short drive for me. Yesterday, someone mentioned South by Southwest, something that's, as a tech nerd, I did make the pilgrimage to CES over a dozen times in my wireless and phone repair career. I never made the journey to South by Southwest. It's always like, oh, I want to do that this year. And something always came up. There was always something else going on during that time. I might attempt to swing at South by Southwest. Bitcoin Vegas. I was going to ask, what are you, do you have anything that you're doing for sure? Or what are you considering in terms of in real life events out there?
Maybe Lisbon might be fun. But I don't know. I have a very specific thing that I would like to do that is taking the most precedent for me for this year for travel, which is seeing a third total solar eclipse in totality in August.
Okay. Where is that at? Where's the travel taking you?
That one you could see either like very north of Iceland, or like amazing like southern islands in Spain. I'm gonna do the Spain thing, I think, because that is going to be special because it's actually the sun's going to be eclipsed by the moon while it's setting.
Cool.
It's going to be at sunset, so it's going to be pretty cool. So like, yes, I know it's not related to any Web3 things, but like as a number file, I think I'm going to like die happy knowing I've seen 3 total solar eclipses in totality. So like I have to have like this has to happen for me. But Lisbon one's appealing. I think that'll be a really fun event. Also, there's like art.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say also there's like art conferences going on that are like more around tech or science art or those kind of things that are like tangential to NFT art, but not necessarily like focused on NFT art that I think are really interesting as well. So I might check some of those out.
Yeah, same. I consider doing I will probably do Art Basel as well in Miami, but I also consider doing the OG Art Basel in Switzerland. I've got a friend who's actually leading their efforts there.
When is that?
Good question.
I'm going to be in Switzerland in March, so I'm like, wait.
It is. Oh, should be this hard to find. Art Basel in Basel is June 18th through 21st. So you could almost double dip if you wanted to do a European vacation in June. NFC Summit in Lisbon is early June. Art Basel in Switzerland's mid to late June. Have they always called it NFC Summit, or was it NFT? I like the branding. I like NFC much better than NFT Conference or NFT Lisbon. Has it always been that?
It's rebranded, yeah, just to make it a little bit
smart,
less NFT related. Yeah, I think it's smart as well.
Smart.
So maybe yeah. Maybe I'll see you there, Emlo.
Might have lost Imlo, but yeah, Imlo, appreciate you jumping up. Appreciate you sharing, and yeah, let's do it. Let's coffee with Captain, coffee at in Switzerland this year. It'd be fun. Let's book it. Let's get it done. Just a couple of other things real quick. I want to get into this hyper liquid discussion. I do want to talk about BlackRock's premium ETF. Before we move too far away from the market, as we're bouncing around though, I caught a couple of things. As I mentioned, hyper liquid up 20+% on the day. Pump fund up plus 20+% on the day. I also noticed Banker Coin. The BankerBot coin is up 55% on the day, up 31 million. There is a few others that are up pretty big. And White Whale was the other one I was looking at. It's up 27% on the day. And more so than the actual tokens, I saw yesterday on Pump Fund, there was over 300 tokens graduated, which was the most in a single day in over 6 months. I'm not saying the trenches are back. I'm not a big meme coiner, but I'm getting, I can't explain it. I know Crocs is going to make fun of me. I think we might be back. I'm getting the spidey senses that we might have bottomed. There's also a lot of charts now on the timelines that the Bitcoin bottoms in, whether you look at the cycles relative to gold and silver, the metals have topped. You're going to see the rotation into Bitcoin now. There's a lot of supporting charts and data that says we're back. I do not, never join us for financial advice. I'm certainly not a financial advisor because they would never advise you to do what I did last night. I opened up a 50x long and went to bed and woke up feeling good. And it's still like chopping. I think we might be entering, we might hit like February could be exciting on all fronts. I think we might see majors really start to cook. Hyperliquid, I'll just good segue into Jeff's post. Jeff, the founder of Hyperliquid here, had this to say, and I think Binance is losing some market share. Hyperliquid, I think, continues to grow. Someone else said Hyperliquid has become the TradFi, the on-chain TradFi equity DEX, and I don't disagree. Jeff says Hyperliquid has quickly achieved an important milestone of becoming the most liquid venue for crypto price discovery in the world. See below for a side-by-side comparison of BTC perps on Binance and Hyperliquid. With HIP3 teams leading the way, Hyperliquid has also grown to become the most liquid venue for perps on TradFi assets. Thank you to everyone's hard work as we upgrade the financial system and house all of finance. I'm not saying this is why Hyperliquid bounced on the day. I'm not saying that that has anything to do with Pump Fund running up 20% on the day. We haven't had a $100 million runner in the meme coin trenches for a long time. And then that Penguin, I don't even know where Penguin is at today. It probably pulled back, but that Penguin meme really took off over the weekend. It just seems like, I know this anecdotal, caps vibes. It seems like we might be getting out of this chop and actually into some exciting time to be trading on chain. Outer, I know you're probably not the big into the perp dex world. Thoughts? Am I crazy to think we might be getting some rotation back to on chain and some exciting moments as far as our numbers are concerned?
Oh my god, I have no idea. Like I'm could not care less. I don't know what it would take for me to start. like I'm happy for whoever wins, but I feel like in what I can give my attention to, is if it's choosing between like art and what new artists are coming out with, and like being like on the art side of Web3 versus like the meme coin or like trenches of Web3, I choose art, and I can't do both. Like there's just not enough time in the world for me to do that. Also, like I just don't know if I have the like it's very much casino, right? And I don't like just enjoy that kind of gambling. Like I like a reveal, or like it's got to be gamified more than just number go up or down, and that's it. Purely for number go up or down.
I agree. I enjoy the same thing. I enjoy the reveals. I enjoy more than just looking at charts and drawing lines on charts and opening up leverage longs or shorts. By the way, that Penguin meme's down to 83 million. Still, for a meme that was created 10 days ago, not too shabby. But where I think for me the excitement pours over, I do a little dabbling in the perp world, but more so than memes. But I think it brings attention. I think it brings eyeballs. And I'm not saying we have another 21-22 run in NFT art or digital assets. I don't think we'll ever have anything like that again. But if we do see Bitcoin and ETH turbo send, and we see Hyperliquid cook to all-time highs, we see more memes take off. We see things like Del Mundo was a free mint, ran up to 0.3. I think it could bring more excitement and attention back to digital art, back to NFTs. And I mean, liquidity matters more so than number go up. I think it could bring another wave of active participants, artists, builders, creators doing new things on chain, right? And that gets me excited. Maybe it is pure hopium. Maybe it never happens. And you're probably taking it the right approach. You collect things you like. You collect things you want to collect. You do things you enjoy, and aren't concerned about who got liquidated today. I think that if we get another NFT, quote unquote NFT season, digital art season, whatever we're going to call this one, maybe it's different than the last time. Maybe it is more pure in the sense it's not a bunch of, there's 14 mints today that are, let's go degen into a bunch of free mints just so we can flip them for more, but rather more bring back experimenting on chain. Even something as simple like we opened up the show talking about merch and gated merch drops. And while that may seem like basic today, like it didn't exist before this one or the one before. You know what I mean? Like that stuff was in 21-22. I think what excited me the most, actually I can say that the numbers going up, crazy numbers. That was exciting. But it felt like every month, if not every week, there was something novel. There was something brand new that we just hadn't seen before. The teams were experimenting. They were doing things on chain. They were using the technology, and we kind of shied away from that. And now we just don't see much new stuff as it relates to the on-chain tech. And I think as attention, excitement comes back into the space, it might lead to more experimenting and seeing more new stuff. Maybe we'll get my board games on chain.
I was gonna say it's almost like the space ran out of scratch or something, right? Like there's no. But I think to your point, everything was novel and it wasn't accessible. Like not every single person in 2021 could just like put out a 10K and like hype it up enough, even though already like the hype gods were with you at the time, right? Like enough stars had to align that like the right project got like a little bit of leeway because of how many things were dropping. But even in that, like, it wasn't that, it got to a point where more and more and more and more people could do the thing. So I think there was a big shift in only if you could do this. And so if you're in on that club, you might stand to profit from it, at least in PFP culture, like, which is what I'm referring to, versus like, it's pretty easy. Like, I think like if you wanted to launch a 10K by the end of today, you could do that.
Yep.
And so that novelty wore off. Like, what could possibly be exciting? And then it's the same, like, tale as old as time. Like, is it a roadmap? Is there then utility? Like the don't say the word utility. Like, what do you get? So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of why like the whole MFR thing appealed to me a while back too, just as much as like IP driven stuff, because it was also this like just nonchalant, like, if you know, nobody cares if you own one or not. Like it's up to you. Like there was something that was interesting about that. And I don't know what that new meta is that blends culture a little bit, because everybody PFPing their stuff also added to this. And like PFPing a meme coin isn't the same.
Yep.
And I think my other point would be, in the last 2 years, are there that many new people coming into the space, or is it just the same crew of people are here? You know what I mean? That are just like pivoting and moving from opportunity to opportunity to opportunity. And so I don't know what that new opportunity looks like, and I think it will change and evolve. And hopefully it'll circle back to something that I find interesting, at least for me. But so far, the things that is landed on, I'm not just as interested in, because I have other things that I can do with my time.
I hear you.
For some people, it's like they're fully in, and I love looking at their wins and their takes, and I think it's great. And I don't need to be an early adopter of like a sub early adopter, like already being an early adopter to crypto. I don't need to like sub early adopt some of these things that people are experimenting on that I just don't find enjoyable. And I think like that's, and some people do. If you find that enjoyable, then by all means, and maybe there'll be more uptake. Like, who knows? But like, I don't know when we're going to see a moment where like, Jimmy Fallon's going to have a picture of an ape with Paris Hilton. Like, I have no idea, but like that stuff was wild. Like that was just like a whole other level of madness that like, I really don't think like meme coins are going to get in that same way. Usually it's like, it's a negative sentiment if they make it to the, like, there
was so many signs that we topped. There was so many signals that we were we ego topped, and some of us got excited. It just led to euphoria instead of, hey, I should be taking some chips off the table here. If Jimmy Fallon and Paris Hilton are showing their apes off, yeah, the signs were there. Outer, I'm going to step away for maybe 60 seconds. While I do that, I just saw something interesting I was not aware of. But since we were talking Magic the Gathering earlier, did you see that Hasbro is being sued by its own shareholders for printing so many Magic cards, destroying the long-term value of the brand? This is interesting. Comment on that if you like. Feel free to take a review any other direction, and I'll be back in like 60 seconds.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Oh, this is wild. I have not seen this. I'll just read the post. Yeah. Oh yeah, destroying the long-term value of the brand. That is so interesting. I mean, I don't know. I got really excited about the recent Avatar, not Avatar the movie, Avatar Aang, the Airbender, and that entire series, just to be clear. Yeah, they Magic the Gathering. And I mean, maybe this is interesting about this idea of like so many Magic cards destroying long-term value. Is it because of all these partnerships? Like, I don't know. There's still pretty like rare cards that come out. I'm always excited to rip a Magic pack, but there's also, I think, a difference between thinking about like the idea of collecting these cards versus the idea of ripping packs because you're looking for certain abilities because you play Magic. So And maybe Pokemon has that similarity to it too. Like how many people that collect Pokemon cards that are like collecting them for value then play Pokemon like as a game. I don't know. Like I'm wondering if there's a difference between that. Like I collect cards for Magic the Gathering to play with more than anything. Because I enjoy the game itself. And yeah, I have some old cards from like Divide had like a high school deck, and there's a couple of things that we found in there that are like, not the Blue Lotus super valuable card, but definitely some. But yeah, I don't know. That's definitely an interesting. Is there such a thing as too many cards? That's kind of funny. Do you guys think? I'm curious to know if anybody listening thinks that there will be like a board game Web3 meta happening, because it also something I believe could be probably like coded in a day or two and released just to see if people care. But I'm wondering if there's a shift in like pandemic, I think exacerbated the need for like online board gaming, but nowadays that's not as important. I'm roping this back into like asking anybody in the audience if they think there'll be like a board game Web3 meta and what that looks like. It's definitely interesting.
I'm not going to go down the virus path, but someone in a text group chat today talking about this new virus I'm not sure where it's at, but
oh, is this the one in India?
Nipah virus, something like that.
Yeah.
And they were like, brace yourselves for pandemic 2.0, and they go, is there a Cauchy on this? There's no Cauchy, but there's a Polymarket that says there's a 16% chance that we get another pandemic in 2026. So do with that information what you will.
Not from that virus. It's so funny how this information gets skewed. Like, this virus has had outbreaks happening almost annually in regions, but it's not like an airborne virus. It's pretty labile, meaning it doesn't survive as well outside of like, it's like a droplet virus. It seems like more than anything. So yes, it has a mortality rate that's fairly high, but also like, generally, like if a virus is going to be that severe, it's not as spreadable because because you kill the host before it has a perfectly spreadable virus is one that you're going to slightly feel crappy about on the plane and give it to the 400 other passengers, not because you die in 3 days from it and you don't make it on the plane to transmit it everywhere else, right? Like there's a biological system at play here, and the worst ones tend to be not as transmissible. But there is definitely like a pandemic graph of like transmissibility versus like, how deadly something is. And this virus, if you look at the Wikipedia page and its occurrences, has been going around for a while. Like this is not like new. This is not something that like there have been many cases of this over and over and over. And the survival rate, depending on the various outbreaks, has been pretty different too. Like there's been one somewhere I read that was like the death rate was only maybe like 10% or 20%, and yet somewhere else it was like 90% of the people that got it died in that little outbreak. So all these micro outbreaks are not even like giving a true definition of what the mortality rate is, which is why the range is like so high. I don't know, or like so variable.
I'm not surprised that you were well informed on this. I have to ask, though, are you in this in real life group chat? Because I kid you not, when someone said that, then the first response, I'm just going to read it because it's almost verbatim what you just said. They're like, it's not a rapid spreader. One, transmission is inefficient, does not spread easily through air like COVID or measles, usually requires very close contact with bodily fluids, outbreaks burn out instead of exploding. Two, symptoms appear quickly, people get sick very fast. That makes cases easier to identify, isolate, and contain. Three, geographic is limited. Almost all outbreaks have been in South and Southeast Asia, linked to specific practices like raw date palm sap contaminated by bats. Four, no silent global spread. COVID spread widely before people knew they were sick. Nipah doesn't do that at all. So yeah, is that you?
No,
I don't have this person's phone number saved, but
that is not me. But that is really funny. Yes, that is exactly pretty much verbatim the situation on this virus. It is not one that like, unless you're traveling somewhere where you might come in contact with it, this is really not like something. The worst virus in North America, I think, is just an influenza strain that has been pretty rough. I think it's even worse than COVID was this year. But yeah, I don't know. It's Oh, I mean, another pandemic could create another NFT run. Everybody was bored last time.
Definitely played a part in it. I think the
Metaverse part for sure. You know, like anybody who was like not a frontline worker and like actually had real life stuff to do and like was heavily involved in like participating on a scale I can't even imagine to the extent of like working at the grocery store, working at whatever essential services. Like that was it was either that or you literally were like, okay, where do I hang out with my friends? You know, like if you're a kid or whatever, like, or how do I remotely work now since I can't go into the office? Like it changed so many different things, but also was primed for online gatherings and Zoom creative calls and all of these things that just like flourish into like this online existence. And 2021 was exactly the a year into into the pandemic where I think people were primed for like a digital renaissance, if you will.
Yep, for sure, for sure. One other flyover topic before we'll wrap today's combo with this big Bitcoin news. I mentioned Rec Drinks sold out in 60 seconds again yesterday with their most recent drop. This was in collaboration with X Games. There is some actionable PSA here. This current season of Rec Rewards ends tomorrow. It ends on Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Please ensure you've redeemed your orders and connected your ETH wallets. I'm saying this to myself. Don't forget this. Don't leave free money on the table. Go get your rewards. And if you live in Ohio, Pennsylvania, or any of those Midwestern states that have Giant Eagle, you can still, there's an arbitrage there. You can still go buy a case of water for $6 or something and get almost double that in Rec Rewards. But take advantage of the rewards program. It's part of what makes me so bullish on Rect is this next gen loyalty rewards program and how they're navigating it. Exciting stuff. Big news this week coming out of X Games, not just with them, but also the 3-year MoonPay partnership with X Games and the X Game leagues. And I said that was the last piece of flavor. I do have one other one. I just saw it popped in the trending X. Are you familiar with Higgsfield AI?
No, what's that?
So it's an AI powered platform. It's not. I don't think they have any on chain components. It's just an AI. They have AI creators. They're the ones behind some of the AI personalities. They call it the ultimate AI powered creator for platforms. Apparently, it started DMing some crypto creators looking to partner with them. I don't know what they're doing, but sorry, didn't mean to share the boobs there on screen. At least they were somewhat tucked away. But yeah, this is maybe more to come from this. I think it is. It's going to be really interesting how
Kind of Sora vibes to me so far.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep. It's going to be really interesting to me how AI and AI creators and creators using AI and human creators, like this intersection of content. I think all brands are going to need to be in the content space. It's just how much of that is human, how much is AI, how much is humans working with AI. And I do think that blockchain tech is at the intersection of all this, because while some people may not care, I think some will. And I think like proof of human, I think is going to be a very real thing. And not saying all humans can't use or leverage AI, they should be. But specifically when it comes to content creation, I think it's a really, really interesting time. And I don't know how it's going to play out. We had some conversations about business opportunities in the content creation space. And there's some content or some talk now about these agencies and X is coming for them next after they just went after, InfoFi. Actually, I think it was Emilio had an article. I'll pin that up top if anyone wants to read that in full detail. I can find it.
Have you played around with the Substack app, the video app?
No, I didn't even know Substack had a video app.
Yeah, they did. They launched, I think maybe last week or the week before. I can't remember, but it's kind of, I don't know. Just have a look. It's interesting. I can't quite tell if it's something people are going to pick up on and really enjoy, or if it's something that people are just going to fade and it's just going to be like irrelevant. But Yeah, no, I'll check out Higgsfield. I was definitely on Sora when it first started, and I think like would I rather scroll through TikTok versus Sora in terms of like video content? What I find is interesting is it really does come to this like taste is the new skill kind of thing. And so I really, because it's obviously AI on something like Sora, what I'm interested in is something super clever that like I didn't think of, you know? And I like those kind of pieces of content where someone's idea just kind of nails like a concept and you're like, oh, that is really funny. Like whoever was like barbecuing a Pikachu or whatever, like just like it's dumb, but it's funny, right? Like when you think about like, okay, someone thought of that and created it and then it like, you know, took off because the idea of like placing a Pikachu on the barbecue is just so silly. So that's interesting. Whereas like its uses for things that aren't clever, I don't know. Like it doesn't, it's not as valuable to me as like watching people live stream on TikTok and, you know, doing whatever they're doing. And some of those rooms are very interesting. Like if a person's just literally talking about nothing, it almost feels like a Twitter space, except it's on TikTok with like the 7 people hanging out in there. I don't know. One other thing that I've been like keeping up with as like an artist and a creative is while I'm deeply in like AI trenches that I'm personally interested in, I've also been like scaling up some of the like physical art abilities that I have just because I think it's like relevant to your point of like proof of human. Like I used to really like oil pastels, but I never like took it like in a way that's crazy. And I recently learned how to like oil pastel stuff like this.
Oh wow. Wow.
And this isn't even great. Like I haven't even blended this properly, but just like I wanted to learn how to do like space stuff. And so I watched some tutorials on how to like actually like do proper oil pastel space. You know, I'm not doing like a ton of it. I maybe have some interest in why I'm doing this beyond like just having the physical skills. But I just feel like, yes, I could make this with AI. I get it. But in this proof of human, there's something interesting about having like a physical piece as well that it's like not a print. It's like something I've made. So yeah, I don't know. But it's not because I'm like not AI forward. It's actually both. It's like the more I'm like learning how to use Cursor and Lua and explore like Roblox game development, the more I'm also like, what if I did something by hand and skinned that and put that into the game? And now it's like hand drawn meets aesthetic, you know, like I do like that like combination, that like merger of like at the intersection of what it means to be human and what it means to use AI. I think creatively is where I'm at.
Wholeheartedly agree. I think I am genuinely impressed. Like if you've never painted with oil or know anyone that's painted with oil, it is very challenging, requires a lot of patience, and it is a very difficult skill set to not just master, but even to get the basic fundamentals down of it. And I agree. I think that the more AI and AI content and art, etc., proliferates the world, I think it's going to drive an increasing demand for real physical goods, real physical art. Like the human touch, I think is going to become increasingly in demand because the AI stuff is just going to get so diluted. It's going to be everywhere and anyone can make it. And I think it could, in a roundabout way, create almost like a renaissance of real world physical art. And yeah, some of that I do think could and should be on chain, but I'm very bullish on both the physical art with a digital counterpart or that physical art being authenticated with an on-chain component. I think using the technology to make the physical art better is where we're heading. And yeah, I think human generated stuff, in particular art, I think could be a boom, not be killed off because of AI art.
I agree. And I think it's interesting to think about like, you know, like blockchain like just bear it down to like saying like something like Ethereum has been used as a gallery when it's in a marketplace gallery, like to show the art and to sell the art. But there's something to be said about maybe removing even that part of it and then having an artist just be like, yeah, well, the way you buy it is actually you buy the physical first, but then like the digital component is secondary to that to give you custody ownership of something or some kind of representation of it. But like we've always, at least in this space, have gone like Web3 first, and that like, you know, we're throwing like blockchain solutions at maybe problems that exist, maybe don't, and exploring it. But there's something to be said about like going the other way, where maybe it's an artist that questions like, well, what use would blockchain tech and its databasing immutability, like what is it that I want to pull from there where it's not being used as a medium to explore like contract-based interactions or whatever, like what other way like could this ingrain into my art practice, not only where I create image, I mint image, collector buys image. Like is there a, like what value added is there to my art practice to introduce any blockchain components at all? So I don't know. I feel like I think it's similar with AI too, right? Like, is it a medium for my work? Is it like my business partner now? You know, because you can rock like residency applications as an artist and have a social media, like the business of art has now opened up, you know, like with AI allowing you to totally rock like the business and marketing side of your art, whereas before that was more difficult. Like it doesn't mean that if you're an artist, you may not be just like using AI for art creation. You could be using AI for art management. So I don't know. There's like a whole tangent to consider there, but like if I'm a painter and I don't know anything about Web3, what would be the value added for me beyond taking a picture and minting it? Like what else is there? I think that's the question.
I'm not going to claim to know the answer, but that's where I get excited about if we get a resurgence of digital art NFTs, is like more creative minds come together and hey, how can I unlock more with this combination of the creative physical world, the on-chain tech piece, and AI is going to be a part of that as well. One more headline, and then we will wrap with the big Bitcoin ETF news. Tether just announced the launch of USAT, the federally regulated dollar-backed stablecoin made in America. This is big news from Tether because the Tether versus Circle conversation is Circle is federally regulated. It's one-to-one back. Tether is kind of more of a black box, has been previously, not federally regulated. Now they're launching their federally regulated counterpart, which, you know, the whole Made in America thing, probably more of a trying to, you know, curry favor with the administration than anything. But the fact that they now have a direct competitor to Circle in that regulated world, so interesting there. I'm not sure what it really does, but stablecoins and payments and using that side of blockchain tech world is certainly an area where it just makes things better from transacting and unlocking more that you can do with your dollars than you can off chain. This is the big news, though. This is a post from Eric Balcuna. Says BlackRock just dropped the official S1 for its upcoming iShares Bitcoin Premium Income ETF. No fear ticker yet, but the strategy is to track performance of the price of Bitcoin while providing premium income through an actively managed strategy of selling call options, primarily on IBIT shares and from time to time on ETP indexes. Not my area of expertise per se, but what I would say is this is kind of like, it's not Bitcoin staking, but it's a Bitcoin ETF that, while it will track the performance of the actual Bitcoin price, they're going to be generating yield by not saying it's going into DeFi, but I'm trying to make the analogy here of it's it's essentially an ETF that is going to use Bitcoin and make it a more productive asset, where it's not just the ETF is just Bitcoin and it trades lockstep with the price of Bitcoin, rather actually make money on the volatility of Bitcoin. And therefore, theoretically, if it works, this ETF could outperform the regular IBIT ETF, could outperform just Bitcoin by itself. Interesting. And I think probably the bigger news is it's BlackRock, one of the bigger fund managers in the world, and just doubling down on Bitcoin, which has been their most popular, profitable product of all time. So I think it's exciting for the space. Kind of my earlier point of attention, liquidity. There's a trickle down effect through all things on chain when more and more dollars get into the ecosystem, whether it's directly on chain or in a SEX or by way of an ETF like this. It may not happen immediately, but I think this is all positive news. It's all more tailwinds for everything we're doing here on chain, from meme coins to art to boomer Bitcoin. It is, I think, a very exciting time to be in the space, and I remain extremely optimistic for 2026.
It's still Q1. We still have time.
Q1 or Q5 if you're a fan of the Burb and Spencer regime. Soonish is coming tomorrow. So yes, go get ready for your Burb launch. Plan how you want to attack that, and it'll be interesting. I don't know if we even have a time yet. I did just post up top. Actually, we do have a time at least for trading on KuCoin. Per KuCoin, what is 1300 UTC? Is 8 a.m. Ooh. So
wait, what?
Trading for Burb goes live. Maybe TGE is. Sorry, my daughter just powered through my do not disturb. So we're wrapping up. So I'll finish this thought here and I'll give her a call back. But yeah, Burb is going live tomorrow on KuCoin. So presumably the actual TGE might take place before that, but goes live at 1300 UTC time, which translates to 8 a.m. Eastern time. So they're kicking it off, going for that coffee with Captain Pump tomorrow.
There we go.
If you are wanting to trade it, KuCoin is one place you can trade it. There's also looks like rumors, some screenshots, they might be going live on Binance and potentially Coinbase as well. I mean, I guess now that you can trade Solana coins on Coinbase, that will be live, whether it's an actual listing or not to be determined. But it says Burb powers the Moonbird's digital collectibles ecosystem. That's maybe the first time I've seen that language. Connecting digital assets with real world products through commerce-backed utility and gaming integration. This is actually this line, this from KuCoin here is more we've gotten out of Moonbirds, I think, as it relates to this token and what it might be for.
Maybe that was AI created.
Probably. Deposits open now for Sol SPL. Pair is Burb USDT, and you can see details in that announcement I have pinned up top. Outer, any closing words? Any final thoughts? Anything we didn't hit on today that you were hoping to talk about?
I don't think so. No, I think this is good. Like, I mean, I really hope that in 2026, like when we have this conversation, like on a Tuesday this summer, that there would have been like some really crazy thing that we didn't anticipate that was like as monumental as, like, I don't know, Ethereum coming out or something. Like I want something big for 2026.
It's going to be the mega ETH launch. No pressure, Brad.
Nice. Well played.
With that, I truly enjoyed the conversation. We hit on, I think, everything we had on the agenda, the docket, but also some other fun trips down memory lane, as always, talking some fancy merch and whatnot. But if you enjoyed the conversation with Outers, don't miss us. We're live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Outer is joining us on Tuesdays. And with that note, we both hope you all have a wonderful day, everyone.